President Trump's pushback on diversity and inclusion initiatives, NBC News has learned that the Defense Intelligence Agency has ordered a pause on all events related to MLK Day or Black History Month, which we should note begins tomorrow. Joining us now with more, NBC News senior White House correspondent Kelly O'Donnell, Atlantic staff writer Ashley Parker, and Aaron Haynes, editor-in-chief at the 19th. So, Kelly, this follows a string of anti-DEI initiatives and messaging from the White House. What's this one about?
Well, certainly what we're seeing is that in this particular agency, the Defense Intelligence Agency, there is a memo that has been distributed to staff members making clear that the agency will not support any celebration, commemoration, events associated with Black History Month, Martin Luther King Day, and so forth. Now, Martin Luther King Day is enshrined in federal law as a federal holiday, so it's unclear what that means in terms of how that would be observed. Federal workers do not have to come to work on a federal holiday, to state the obvious. So one of the questions we hope to learn more about is how widespread is this approach? President Trump has been very clear in his public statements and in his use of various instruments with a pen, meaning a memo or an executive order or the various things that we've been seeing him sign since he came into office, very clearly saying that he wants to root out DEI programming and hiring-related practices and so forth. And as he has described it, he wants the best people, regardless of what they look like or how they speak or how they live. And so is this a broad policy that will affect all parts of the federal government, or was this the interpretation of a given agency to be in alignment with the White House? Part of what this new Trump administration has been trying to do is to get the federal workforce to be in step with President Trump's priorities and his view of how the federal government should operate in a broad array of areas, and included in that is handling matters that deal with diversity, equity, and inclusion programming. And they have rooted out those programs for funding to say those will no longer be funded. But things like Black History Month, which are celebrated in many different contexts, in workplaces, in communities, and so forth. So we have more questions here about what does this mean and how will the federal workforce note what have been longstanding practices in American culture to honor Black History Month and other kinds of initiatives that lift up parts of our large community, whether it's persons with disabilities, whether it's women's issues, the whole array of things. But at the moment, because as you point out, February 1st begins Black History Month, how will it play out on the federal level? That's part of what we're trying to pursue. We have evidence now of an agency saying